What you do? Cut?
Keep it coming, huh?
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Bo Beagles. You see what we got right here? It's something that we all common with. It's a Garmin bag. And we all know the amount of money and time that we paid. They got a Alpha 100. And we got TT15 mini collars. This one right here is pretty much new. But what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about taking care of the collars. Because we have to realize and understand that we invest a lot of money in these collars. And a lot of times, I've been guilty of it, that we strap up, we hunt all day long, we come in, we put the dogs up, feed the dogs, clean the rabbits that we harvest, and we just throw the collars in the bag. But one thing that I try to do as much as I can is I try to take these collars and I try to take a look at them each time to make sure that everything is operational and in order. Because we all know that we don't want to get in the woods, in a hunt, and all of a sudden, our collar is not acting right. Even myself, I had a situation on last week before last, where I had a dog that I was trying to correct or get his attention. And I kept toning and the dog didn't want to respond. So when I hit the shock level, I never hear the response. And me in the morning time going out in the dark with limited light, I didn't realize that the prongs had come out. Yeah, that's my fault, my dumbness. So it's important that we inspect these collars and we take a look at them. But what I want to do today, guys, is I want to take pretty much one of my dirtiest collars. And you see I got a white tablecloth here. I got a white napkin, and I have an old toothbrush. No, I don't use this toothbrush to brush my teeth, but this is an old toothbrush. And what I want to do today, and I have some old rags, t-shirts that I cut up simple, and I got some warm water with 1 drop of our famous Dawn dish detergent. So what I do, YouTube, is let's take Paige. Paige is a gritty Indian heel. So the first thing that I do is the collar facing me, I start pulling on the collar. And you can see already the amount of dirt that's on here. We'll take a look at it at the end. But you can see the amount of residue that's in there. Sometimes you gotta inch it to get it where you want it. And I do have a little screwdriver. I'll let you know the purpose of that. So we get this collar and just look at all the stuff, all the briars, the honeysuckles, the trees, the pine straw. All of this is coming out of this collar. Look at my white shirt. So what I do is I lay this collar over here, and you can see even some of the inside of here. You can see the dirt that's inside your little loop. You can see the dirt that's on the back, and even the screw holes, you can see the dirt. What I do is I go a step further. Now this is crucial. It takes a little bit of screwdriver. Don't ask me the size because I don't have a clue. But another reason that I have these white napkins and a white cloth is because when you take these little bit of screws off, do not do like I did when I first got mine. I had an antenna that was warped and wore, and I had to change the antenna. So I was at my cousin's house, and we started doing this outside, and all of a sudden, a screw popped. Well, as many of you know, that when you take this screw out, that if you drop it, it's so small that you won't be able to find it if you're outside. So what I do is take my screws and I put them on this little napkin right here. You got 1, you got 2, you got 3 screws. And pretty much it don't take but a few turns to take it off. And really, once I get to this point, I take I forgot about this one, the 4th screw. This one has some dirt in it, so it's a little bit difficult. But what we do is we take and we pull this off. And somebody might say, well, why would you pull that off if you're not changing the antenna? Well, YouTube, what I want you to do, I want you to look at this. This is, in all actuality, this is an electrical connection, because you have to have some type of reception that communicates to this box on what you want done. But look at all the dirt that's in here. So pretty much what I start doing, YouTube, I'll take and I'll spray just a little bit of the water. And it is some wires and stuff, but they're pretty much coated with stuff to protect it. And I spray just a little bit more, because me personally, I want my stuff to work right. If I got a dog that I'm toning, trying to get his or her attention, or, and we might as well admit it, if I got a dog that is doing the wrong thing and I want to get his or her attention, I want to get his or her attention. So I put a little bit in here where the collar itself goes. And you know, to be honest, like this collar right here, I've had this collar. I like these reflective type collars. Number one, you know, it does give a little bit more projection depending on where you are. But the way I operate YouTube is this right here. I have a blue collar. This is for Zeke. Purple is for Paige. I got red for TT. I got black for Hunter. I got orange for Diamond. I got neon for Favor. And I got pink for Sport. And I got this orange for Rose. Somebody said, well, what's the difference of the collars? You could put numbers, you could put. This is what I do. The reason I do this, YouTube, is because 10 times out of 10, when I'm hunting, I have other people hunt with me. And when I'm trying to figure out if I got something going on, or if the dogs come through, I'm trying to get a understanding better of which dog is doing what, where they are in the chase, what dog did what. All I have to do is ask one of the people that I'm hunting with, what collar did the dog have on? That's not their information. That's the information that they relay to me. And once they relay that information to me, YouTube, then I know when to go in here and what to do without guessing. That's just my personal take. If you all got different ways or whatever, hey, feel free to drop it in the comment section, and we'll be glad to share with you. We'll be glad to learn, because it's a learning process for all of us. We even found out a few days ago that Garmin is doing an upgrade from the TT15 mini, so we don't know what's to hold. But I have all these set up in my system according to the color of the collar. All right, so once I do that, I'll take one of these cloths I got. I wet that lightly, and I take and I wipe this collar off. So I got my collar wiped off. I'm gonna dry this off. I didn't put a lot of water on it. I just lightly took a little right. And you can look, YouTube. I mean, we spend all this money, as I stated several times, in these collars, in this handheld, those that's got the 200, those that's got the 10. We spend hours in training. So we want to make sure that this investment that we've done, that it lasts us as long as possible. So once I've done that, YouTube, I'll take, because you can even look at the back. Look at all the residue that's in there. Over time, this will affect you over time, possibility. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing to the guys, hey, that go hunting, pull it off, put it in your bag, then strap the dog back up. But don't get mad at Garmin, Don't get mad at anybody else when your stuff doesn't work like the way you want it, simply because you have not taken care and maintained your system. So I'm going to put a little water on this bracket right here that we see. And as you see, when I took all the screws out, I still have 3 screws that's in there. I got my eyes on them real well. So when I come back here, the way we took it off, the way we put it back on. Now, to guys, while I got it off, you know, another thing too as well is that we all know that dogs have issues with the wear and tear when they're in our dog boxes, when they're in the woods, different things, that we do have to replace these antennas. So if you do have to replace the antenna, you know, we can go on whatever website. I'm not marketing it for anybody today, but you can go on any website and order you this antenna, and all you do is take this one screw out, YouTube. This one screw, and then you screw it back in, and it's simple. Don't take it to a shop to pay somebody to take care of this. I think I have one collar that I got to replace in my inspection of it. I thought I did. Well, I must not have to. All right. So now we back to reassembling and putting our system back into operating mode. Make sure that these screws are seated and they're tight, YouTube. I thought I'd shoot this video. We got snow outside. I didn't go out today like, you know, some guys. Hey, to each his own. But I stayed in, and this is what was on me to do a video about the maintenance and the cleaning of this system. All right, so now we have this back together. If you hold a button, we get the red light, bam. We got the red light, and now we got the green light flashing. So we're gonna hold it down until the red light comes back on. Don't want to cut off. Well, so we hold it to the green light, then there's the red light. So we take this collar, and YouTube, I want to show you, some guys say they have issues with the prongs and the collar sliding. Well, you can see right here, this collar was not this long. I have a shorter, smaller dog, so I had to cut the collar. But make sure that when you take these collars to seal them, that you clip them on the corners and clip it across, and take some type of heat. And you could take the heating element and you can go across the front of this. And what that does, YouTube, that seals it from any water, anything ruining this collar any further. But what I do is, when I put my collar on my dogs, I take, and I got these little straps here. I saw on Facebook a few days ago where somebody asked what was the purpose of these straps. So what I do is, some guys, I look and they have these collars too long and they're hanging. You can hurt your dog this way, YouTube. You can injure your dog. So what I do is, I make sure I cut them specific. That way it has no way of hanging anything in the woods to hang my dog. So make sure that your collars are measured appropriate. But I take these little straps, and when I come through like here, that allows my collar to be seated when it's on. And then also on the opposite side, I'll take this and I'll run my antenna through it as well. Because we know some of us have some 13-inch dogs that are low to the ground or even smaller. And if this antenna is not right, it's gonna drag the ground and drag the ground. All right, YouTube, let me get back to where I'm at. So, only thing you do is do the opposite of what we did to get here. So we're gonna come up through here. It should be easy now because we done cleaned all the gunk out. And sometimes when you go through this one right here, it may be a little tricky. So I take the little screwdriver and I just kind of feed it. And I'll pull it out on this side. Then I feed through here. Make sure you don't miss any loops. And then what I do, YouTube, once I got that, I come back through this loop. And I got a clean TT15 mini collar, YouTube. This is what I do. At this point, I have pretty much 7 dogs that I'm running regular. I got 2 younger dogs that I'm trying to get to that next level. So I have 8 collars, and I'm thankful that I was on a raffle on YouTube the other day, and I won a TT15 mini. So now I have enough collars for all of my dogs. I always keep this in my bag. I keep this screwdriver. I keep these scissors for my clips. And I keep this little brush for maintenance of the collars. Well, YouTube, I thank you for your time. That's just a little bit of what I do here at Boboy Beagles to clean and maintain my Garmin TT15 mini collars. I'm quite sure that the TT15, the 10, the 5, all the other collars pretty much are the same. Make sure you take care of your collars. That way they'll last as long as you want to.